Good evening, everyone, and today I am delighted to be representing the medical and social case for bilingualism. We all know learning a second language or even another language is hard work. It doesn't really take a genius or a bilingual to point that out. And with the rapid advancement of translation technologies and the implementation of AI and even Google Translate, which I found very interesting and also a bit strange, it is not so much a stretch to think that perhaps in the near future it will become obsolete to need to learn a second language. The barriers of communication have already started to crumble, which, mind you, is a wonderful thing. We need more communication in this world. But then why bother putting in so much time, energy, effort, money, you name it, on bringing up the next generation bilingual when it is not necessary? I stand before you today to implore you to please consider the numerous cognitive benefits of bilingualism. Recently, there's been quite a lot of talk and debate over grey matter and how we can maintain its integrity. It is, after all, involved in lots of functions, memory, day-to-day life. It is very important. However, what is not so often mentioned is actually white matter. White matter is found in the inner subcortical part of the brain and is covered in myelin, which gives it its signature white color. This white matter is this fatty insulating sheath, protects these delicate nerve fibers from damage and improves the speed of transmission. It is also involved in focus, learning, problem solving, balance, and even coordination. And it connects the different areas of a brain that send and receive signals. It is therefore vital that we maintain its integrity as we age. And it has in fact been found that by being bilingual, it can delay the onset of Alzheimer's by around 4 years. 4 years may not seem like such a long time, but just 4 years of normal cognitive ability can greatly improve someone's quality of life, especially in those later years. Now, this may seem a little bit far away, or perhaps not so far away for some, but there are also some more tangible effects of bilingualism. For example, the management of tasks that require the management of conflict. This is measured by the Stroop task. If anyone's taken psychology, you've probably had to design one of these yourself, or you may have done one actually. It is quite common. It is that task where you have the name of a color in print in a different color ink, and you're meant to sort of ignore what it says and only point out the color. As you can imagine, this is quite similar to switching between languages, especially when it is not very similar. And we can, in fact, test this here. So I would like to invite you all to have a little participation in this. Now, please shout out the color, and I repeat, the color of a text. Ready? Now, the first one of those may have seemed pretty easy, you know? It's not exactly difficult to shout out the color. However, the faster it gets and the more you do it, it sort of gets the gears in your brain turning. And this is very similar in feeling to what I feel when I have to switch between languages, especially English and Chinese, English and German, that perhaps aren't so similar, and it is quite noticeable. And so as someone who has grown up speaking several languages, I've grown up speaking English, French, German, and Mandarin, although I'm not very good. And I have found that it has been hugely beneficial and has really helped shape how I feel about language as a whole. Surprisingly, by learning another language like German in a more traditional classroom setting growing up, it has helped me understand English, my native language. And because of a similar etymology, this is quite obvious. It is also really helpful for me that I'm able to speak Mandarin, although I'm perhaps not as good as I should be, according to my parents. It has helped me connect with my Chinese family on a deeper level. By talking with them in their language, I'm able to cross this cultural barrier that I simply wouldn't be able to do over Google Translate. It is, for example, notoriously difficult to translate complex Chinese idioms into English. You'd have to write about 2.5 pages, and no one has time for that, come on. So I think it has personally helped me a lot, and I think it could help so many in the next generation. To conclude, I think the real question we should be asking is, what are we missing out on by relying on a tool that does the work for us? We are becoming more passive, which is never a good thing for our function. In a world where Douglas Adams' Babelfish, a device which can translate between all human languages, is soon going to be a reality, it is all the more important that we don't lose sight of the benefits of bilingualism. Thank you.